Hello friends, this is the second video on the enzyme. If you have loved my videos, you can see more videos in the easyscience.weebly.com, and you can also watch my videos in the YouTube. This is the link. You can click on the link and you can straight away visit my channel. If you have liked my videos, you please subscribe my channel. You can always leave comment and suggestion for new next videos. So now let's go to the hello friends, this is the second video on enzyme, and if you have loved my previous videos, you can subscribe my channel. This is my videos. This is my website. This is easyscience.weebly.com. You can check for more videos. If you like my videos, you can also visit my YouTube channel. You can subscribe it. You can leave a lot of suggestions and message, and you can also send me email at mukhop8989 at the rate of gmail.com. Alright, so now let's go to the enzyme. We have already known that this according to the Michaelis-Menten equation, the equation is V, this is the small v, is equal to V max into S, the concentration, by Km plus S. Now we have to understand certain things. I'm not going in details that how you got this small v velocity and this V max S into divided by Km plus S. I'm not going into the details, but the thing is that this V is the velocity at that time of the enzyme in that reaction. Vmax is the maximum velocity that much of enzyme can attain. This is the substrate concentration, this is substrate concentration, and this Km is a very important equilibrium constant. It is the Km, you can write it in this way, that it is k to the minus 1 k1 plus k2. Okay, this is k2. Now in the equation, the enzyme plus substrate can undergo this bidirectional reaction and form the ES complex, and it will straight away form the product, plus it will release the pure enzyme that will again come back and go for the next cycle of the reaction. The forward reaction of this part, where this enzyme and substrate are working together and form this ES complex, the constant here is K1. The opposite, where the ES complex dissociates into enzyme and substrate, is K minus 1 constant, and this is K2. As I have already said, that this K2 is the this step where this enzyme substrate complex produces product, and this enzyme is released. This is a rate limiting step. Now this Km, look at this Km, this is the Km, how this Km is produced. This is the component constant of this Km. If you take a deep look into this, you can always do one thing, that according to this Michaelis-Menten equation, it states that this enzyme substrate complex formation is very high. That means this K1 constant is very high. At the same time, this product formation is very low. That means this K2 value is also low. So in that respect, if you look at this Km, it is K minus 1 by K1 plus K2. So this K2 value is very less, so you can always ignore this value, and Km sometimes defined as this one, and this is what? This is the dissociation constant, K1, K minus 1 by K1. K minus 1 is this one. So when what this Km value indicates, when the Km value increases, the affinity of the enzyme for the substrate decreases. When the Km value decreases, the affinity for the substrate of the enzyme increases. So there is an indirect proportional rule. So why it is so? From this you can straight away understand that Km, where this K2 value is very less, you can always ignore this K2, and this Km you can write in this way, it is as good as this dissociation constant. So as this Km value increases, that means this K minus 1 value increases, that means the rate of this backward reaction is very high than this enzyme substrate formation. That means if the K minus 1 value increases, the more enzyme and substrate will be formed from this ES. That means the substrate, that enzyme is showing a less affinity for this substrate, so it is getting released from this enzyme substrate complex, and it is producing enzyme and substrate if this K minus 1 value increases than this K1 value. And this when this whole value increases, this the increase of this K minus 1 value also increases the value of this Km, and which states why increased Km shows a lesser affinity for the substrate, and why the decreased Km value shows the increased affinity for the substrate, and what is this dissociation constant is at the same time we can understand. So now if I go for some more extra details, that is, we have already known that this V is equal to V max into S by Km plus S. Now this Km, we know a lot about Km. Now what happens if that means Km more or not only Km, and in the this much of